it's Karen. Today I am going to work with the Butterfly Basic stamp set from Stampin' Up! And I'm going to show how you can cut out your images and have them look really pretty even if you don't have a die cut machine. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp some images, and I chose the butterfly, the large one, the little one, and this fern right here to show you what to do. I did stamp a couple in advance just to save time, but I am going to do a fern, a second fern, so that I can show you how you can actually layer these. When you're stamping, to be successful, you first need a good stamp set. You need a good quality ink, and you need to stamp properly. I'm going to just take this strip that has the little butterflies on it, and I'm going to give you a little pointer. Whenever you're working with your inks, keep them close when you're not actually stamping so they don't dry out. One thing I really love about the Stampin' Up! Ink is that you can buy ink refills in the exact same color as your ink pad, and you'll have that stamp pad forever. And if it's your favorite color, you never have to really worry about ink. So I made one before and the background seemed a little bit plain, so I'm just going to take this one step further and just show you how easy it is. These are photopolymer stamps, which means that you can see through them. And if you were going to buy anything as a new stamper, as a new pocket letter person, somebody who wants to make embellishments, the very first thing I would recommend is a really good quality ink pad, a really good quality acrylic block, and a very good quality stamp set. If you buy things of lesser quality, you're not going to be satisfied with the results. I did get mine a little bit over, so I'm going to wipe off the excess. That's important when you're a beginner. After you have your pad inked or your stamp inked, you go straight up and down. You see people pushing on them. You see people rocking them. No, you just want to go straight up and straight down. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and I'm going to show you how to cut these items out. It seems like it would be a simple thing, but I'm going to start with my fern, and sometimes people run into trouble when they try to cut the fern out with all this extra paper hanging. You can save that for another project or more stamping. If you have the ink pad out and you want to just do a bunch of butterflies all at once, you won't have to dig it out later. If you're watching TV, you can sit and cut. So the first thing I always do when I'm fussy cutting is I go very close to the image, but I do leave a little bit of the white. Otherwise, you tend to cut stuff off you don't like. Plus, I do like my things to have that little border around it. I just think it adds a nice effect. You don't have to stamp just on white. You can stamp on any color that you wish. If you didn't want this image stamped inside like this, you could cut it out and just flip it over and use the other side. So you could just have it all, one color if that's the look you're going for. And on the last fern, I did go through and cut around each leaf. I will do that again on this one. I'm not going to use the whole leaf, so I'm cutting off the bottom. That'll help. And then too, when you're at the very top, you don't need to do too much to cut it out. You don't have to get down in between each little leaf. And when I'm cutting on this, you can see I'm only going just a little bit in. I'm not really cutting around each leaf. It's almost like I'm just making like a little divot in between, just to give that some dimension. You could try to cut each and every little curve, but you probably wouldn't have very much fun. You'd probably mess it up and you probably wouldn't enjoy it. This isn't supposed to be something that you don't enjoy. If you don't like it, it's just not for you. So you need to learn to keep it simple, keep it easy, keep it fun. My favorite part of stamping and paper crafting is all the little embellishments and, you know, how to make it interesting. And there's just so many combinations for these little parts. And I'm almost done with this one. I hope you're actually seeing what I'm doing. It's hard for me to show to the camera and cut all at the same time. But hopefully you're seeing enough to get the idea. Okay, so I've got my second one. It's a little bit bigger than my first one. You can see how nicely that came together. And I'm going to cut out one of the little butterflies just to help you with that also. And the reason I did do in the Hello Honey ink, this little kind of honeycomb, or it could be chicken wire, it could be whatever you want it to be, was because I didn't really care for just the stark white background. But some people really like that. So, you know, don't be intimidated by other people's designs. I think sometimes beginners think that they have to be perfect. And you don't, because it's learning. It's like working a muscle. So here's my butterfly. And here's one that I did a little while ago. The first time I tried the video and discovered that I was doing it poorly. I'll use the word poorly. And I'm going to stamp one more of the big butterfly because it looks like we do have some time. I'm going much quicker the second time around. And I will cut that for you and try to show you better. So again, don't rock, no excess ink on your block. Straight down, straight up. Simple as that. You know, you don't have to cut these out either. You could just stamp them on your paper in random ways. And again, cut off your excess. And this butterfly, the image actually mimics, I don't know if you can see that. Will it focus in? No, it mimics this. It's just a little bit smaller. It's kind of a lace with some flowers and some leaves. And again, remember, don't compare your work to other people's. Your work is your own, and you're the person who has to like it. And sometimes I found so many people are new to pocket letters that they're afraid to even try. And then they think, oh, I think I'll try it. They get one, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Because it's not about like perfect elements. It's not about anything except sharing what you love. Okay, so here's my other butterfly. And I'm going to take my snail adhesive. Some people try to use Elmer's school glue. Nope. You need to have either a tape runner like this or some Tombow monoliquid glue. And I'm going to just share with you, the Elmer's glue is all bumpy. It gets sucked up into the paper. It never dries flat. So just make sure when you start a new hobby, you start with quality products so that you'll always be successful. Oops, that's the smaller one. I want to put my bigger one behind. So this is a 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock. And that's also what I stamped my images on. So you can see we're already starting to get the makings of a little garden card. And gardening is a popular theme amongst crafters. And then I just put my shorter one on top like that. And I like my big butterfly. Probably right there. Now, again, probably if you don't have die cut machines, you don't have all the other little fun gadgets, and you don't need that. Practice just learning the basics, because then when you get to the point where you do buy a machine or other elements, you are going to have such awesome projects because you took the time to learn it from the beginning. All right, so you can see I've got this really great pocket card. If you put this on a piece of 3x4 cardstock, it would have a border. You could fit that in a Project Life pocket and use it in your Project Life. You could put it on a bigger card for a greeting card. And I think I'm going to turn my little butterfly going the other direction. I'm going to put my tape on it. And I'm going to have it go a little like this. And just for fun, because it is in the stamp set, I am going to take this little postmark, pocket letter postmark. It goes perfect with the theme. And I am going to put that on there. I want to look and see. Okay, so it goes like that. I'm going to use my Hello Honey again. And when in doubt, if you have enough ink, if you don't know how that's positioned, you can always stamp on a piece of paper. Now this was made to look like it wasn't really, you know, like solid. So I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to go off the corner a little bit. I stamped off so it would be lighter. You can see here. And then that was my second stamp. So that's kind of like another little technique. It's called stamping off. But look at how pretty that is. And all I did was take a pair of really sharp and pointy paper snips and a really pretty stamp set that had a lot of different things to choose from, and 3 colors of ink and Whisper White cardstock. And look at this really pretty card that I created. So I hope this explains fussy cutting, and I hope it explains to you how you can use different things to make your pocket cards, that you don't need to have a lot of supplies and a lot of things to start out. So I hope that this inspires you to find a swap partner and try it. Have a good day.